What's up, multifamily masters? Hey, how we doing? This is Powell Chi coming at you live here, Redondo Beach, Saturday. Just got done playing beach volleyball, which is, if anybody knows me, that's like what I do every single weekend. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I was out here at the beach, and so after finishing, just thought I'd talk a little bit about, what's going on and what goes on when you got a deal under contract. So I posted, let's see, we'll talk about that in a second, but wanted to let you guys know that, hey, if you have any questions, feel free to ask any questions. I'd love to answer any questions that you guys have, and let's talk about when you're under contract, what goes on. Okay, so I happen to be under contract for another deal. I don't know if you guys saw, but I just posted a few things earlier this week that I was under contract for 2 deals. So I have 2 deals going on right now. And then a third one happened. So I actually have 3 deals under contract, which was like, for me, it was like, whoa, that's a lot. I mean, I wasn't really prepared to have 3 deals under contract. And this happens to be, these 3 deals are in, out in the South, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. So I got a team of us, and we're all heading out to go do our due diligence and everything next week. So, but before that, just like to rewind a little bit and just talk about like what happens when you get these multiple deals and what you could do. And, sometimes when you got your momentum going, you have these opportunities that come your way. And, you're putting out LOIs and you're submitting offers and you're trying to close deals. And the more that you're active in doing these things, the more momentum that you're going to gain. And sometimes things come out of nowhere. And you, like for me, you just get one deal, and then all of a sudden, really quickly, another deal pops up out of nowhere, and then you're like, "That's awesome! I got 2 deals. That's amazing!" And you're going full force, and then like a third one pops up out of nowhere, and you're like, "Okay, this I don't know. It's a little nervous, but let's go ahead and do it. I think we can do it. We can make it happen, right?" So that's what's kind of happening, and so I just wanted to talk with everybody about gaining momentum and being active, right? So when you're actively pursuing things, you're talking to brokers and you're analyzing deals and you're actually getting out there and trying to make things happen. Sometimes those initial things may fall through, but you never know what happens and what contacts you make and things like that. Let me give you just a quick story. One time, this is probably about a year ago, and I've working on this one deal. I'll just tell you. So about a year ago, I was really close to getting a deal under contract, and it was a multifamily deal, and this was pre-COVID and things, and I was interviewing some property managers, and so we were visiting some property managers and talking to them in person. I met with one of them, and they said, actually it's probably not a good fit for us, the type of property you have is just not a good fit, but they said, do you actually want to buy another one? And we were like, what do you do? Okay, sure, let's talk about it. And then it ended up being like a really good one. We didn't put under contract. We're trying to, and we've been trying pretty much for like a year now, but we still don't have it under contract. But honestly, we're like the only ones talking to them about this deal, and they've told us multiple times, like, hey, pal, if we do sell this deal, you're going to be the first person we're going to talk to. So you never know what happens when you're actively doing things and pursuing them. You never know what comes about. So it just happens to be that right now, just work towards one deal, and then another one happens, and then you just push your momentum, and then take those steps to just move forward. Obviously things are outside of my comfort zone. I've never had 3 deals under contract, never had 2 deals under contract at the same time. So having 3 at the same time is just like certainly out of your comfort zone, out of my comfort zone. But you just want to keep pushing, and keep going and go for it, right? So let me say hi to a couple people. I appreciate everybody joining. So Les, good to see you, buddy. Good talking with you earlier as well. Dave Ma, thanks for joining. Stanley Greer, thanks for joining. Eric Upchurch, what's going on, buddy? How you doing? I'm sure you're heading to Hawaii pretty soon, but Joanna Schmidt, thanks for joining. Victor Gomez, thanks for joining. Johansson Crutchfield, thanks for joining as well. Christine Flock, thank you for joining. Asil Aldre, thanks for joining. Hey, Kurt, how you doing, buddy? Great to see you, man. Robert, I don't want to pronounce your last name. Sorry, Robert. But thanks for joining. Joachim Bosch. Oh, Jack Bosch. Hey, how you doing? Great to see you, buddy. So you know, right now the deals that I have, all 3 deals are self-storage deals, right? So they're all self-storage deals, and my team is out there, or going out there Sunday. So we're flying out Sunday, and people are coming at different times, but we have 3 deals that we're going to do all at once. I kind of, you know, go to one, go to the next one, go to the next one, and we have, you know, when you're going to do your due diligence, let's talk about what you're going to do, right? So this is how we operate, is we usually take 2 days in market. So one of the days is going to be on site. You know, we're going to have our due diligence team out there. Generally, it's our property manager. They have a due diligence like report that they're going to do. We also send an inspector out there. So you would pay for these things, right? You pay for them. So that's 2 different teams going out there. Plus, if we know that there's certain other things going on that are a problem, like if the roof is wrong, you know, messed up, we know these things ahead of time. You know, we want to send out roofers at that time. So contractors, certain types of contractors you think that you might need, and so you're going to get some type of report or estimate from them about what needs to be fixed. So we're sending all of them out, and they're going to be on site with us. So we're going to get a chance to visit with all of them, see what they're talking about, show us what issues that we might be having to deal with, and what we need to spend money towards, or our CapEx towards. So you want to do that one day. It's also a good chance to meet the broker as well as meet the seller, right? So that's a good chance to meet both of them. And then the second day, we generally spend in market just doing market analysis. So we're out in the field visiting other facilities that we don't own, right? And we're checking on their rates and how full they are, and what do the places look like, and how are they run, and we're asking all kinds of different questions. And so you're spending a lot of time like in the market, getting to know the market really well. You're getting to know your competition, because storage, just like multifamily, your competition level is really close to you, and you want to make sure that you know what your competition's level like, so that you know what type of rates you can charge and things like that. So 2 days in market. So we're going to spend 2 days in market in one city, 2 days in market in another, 1 day in market in another, because we've already spent time doing our due diligence on one of the deals previously. So hey, Kurt, thanks for joining. And Ronnie, Philip, what's going on, brother? Great to hear you. So yes, thank you all for commenting. Yes, Joanna. So yeah, 3 deals. Yeah, you're saying, Steve, 3 deals is definitely tough. I mean, like, good thing is that, you know, where I'm really lucky right now is that I've been doing, I would say I've done a really good job of surrounding myself with great people. So we have a lot of great people on this team, and I really count on a lot of them to do, you know, to do amazing things. And they really are able to make sure that, like, I don't have to do everything. So it's not like, hey, I'm out there doing handling 3 deals and doing every single thing, right? So I got a ton of people behind me that are just like, they're actively pursuing what they need to do to make these deals happen. So that is why I'm able to, like, actively say I'm going to go ahead and pursue 3 deals at the same time. But that's something you want to make sure that you put together with yourself as well. Like, doing everything by yourself, you know, finding the deal, raising the capital, you know, closing on the deal, and then operating the deal. All those things, you know, take a lot of time for one person to do. So if you can join with partners, and that's really why Multifamily Masters was created, right? It's really forming a network of people all across the United States and even across the world, where you can form partnerships with people and work towards investing on properties, right? Like, my business partner lives in Dallas, Texas, right? It's Dallas, Texas. I live here in Los Angeles, right? But I mean, we met over here in Southern California, and then now, you know, we're still business partners. And I have a lot of other people that are all different parts of the country that are helping out on all these deals, right? So, so yeah, Joanna, you said that needs to be your next deal. Haven't done one yet. So yeah, when, you know, usually like people say, when you do your first one, your second one, your third one start to come a lot easier, right? And I'll tell you that a clear example of this coming easier is that, so I closed one deal, my first self-storage deal, put it under contract in the fall, but then I closed it in January, right? So January, and then I've been actively trying to get another one since. But that broker is one of the people that brought me, actually kind of like brought me 2 of these deals, right? 2 of the 3. So closing that first one, making sure that I have a good relationship with him, making sure that we're still in contact with each other. He's brought me a second deal, and then he brought me the 3rd deal. I mean, I kind of knew about the 3rd deal because it's from the same seller that sold us our other one. But he was actively pursuing it, trying to make it happen because he knew I was going to be in the market and wanted to make this happen at this time. So that's just an idea of like, hey, things get easier as you're more active. So if you can get these things closed and get your first deal, hopefully that helps you, Joanne. When you get your first deal, whether it's a partnership or you're on your own, you get your first deal, Joanne, your second and third deal may come a lot faster. So hopefully that it did for me. So yeah, Eric, exactly. I mean, you talk about having a great team. Really appreciate you being part of the team. Eric's a huge part of the team. If you guys don't know Eric Upchurch, you guys should reach out to him. He's got a great platform for the military, and it's an amazing platform. We totally support him. He's a great guy as well, and I'm super happy that he's on my team as well. Kenneth Reefer, thank you for joining as well. Cody Laughlin, thanks for joining. Sergio, thanks for joining as well. Let's see. Is there any questions that I might be able to answer for you? So let me. One thing that we're putting together with our team right now, because we're all going to be in the market. So I mentioned we're going to do market analysis, right? So we're all going to be out basically secret shopping, right? Other competitors, right? It's kind of like pretending, oh, I'm here and I'm looking at a self-storage unit and I wanted to see what size property, which ones do you have and how many do you have of 10 by 20s or how many do you have of 10 by 10s, right? So there's certain questions you want to ask and you want to get a feel for the property, right? So you don't want to just ask random stuff. Like we already know when the property was built. We don't really need to know that, but we need to know like how many openings do they have, or what kind of specials are they running right now in person? Because a lot of times in person specials are different than online specials, right? So you want to ask them what kind of specials, because you might have to have these kind of specials too to attract people, or you ask them those type of things like, how soon can I move in, or what are you? I heard there's like insurance or something like that. What is that stuff, and how much does that cost, and how much does that protect me, right? Is this mandatory? Do I have to pay for insurance? Do I have to? Like, I don't want insurance. No, I don't care. Like, I just have a couch and a TV. I'm not worried. I don't want insurance. And then, oh, you're going to make me? I have to pay insurance? Like, you want to ask these kind of questions so that you find out like what your competitors are doing, right? So we have a whole list of things that we want to make sure that our teams are asking when they're out there. And it gives them a sense of like, okay, so when they decide that they want to maybe they want to go get a property on their own, they have a sheet and some questions that they know they've asked previously and that are important. So great. So yep, Eric, you're right. When you get that first one, you're right. The first one is the hardest. Oops, what did I do here? Did I flip the camera? What did I just do? Okay. Whoa. Okay. All right. Question. So yeah, Eric, let's see. Question might people want to hear. Why are you excited about JVs versus syndications? Okay. So yeah. So Eric is talking about these deals that I have are all JVs, right? So these are joint ventures. So that's what I mean by JVs. So them being all a joint venture, what is that? And how is that different than a syndication, right? So these deals, a joint venture, I would say is kind of like technical term for just meaning partnership, right? And it's a type of partnership, okay? Now syndication is a different type of partnership. Joint venture is everybody is active, so you probably generally have a smaller group of people and everybody takes an active role, all right? So some type of active role, they all have generally some type of voting rights as well, right? And, in a sense, they could be, some people are going to be more active than others, that's just the nature of the beast, that some people are going to just be much more active than others, but everybody has a chance to be, active, right? And you generally are taking on a smaller property, right? So mine are all JVs, they're all generally in the 1 to 3 million range is where I'm shooting for, right? So we're shooting for properties in the 1 to 3 million range, and everybody now gets a chance to join in from the very beginning. So my joint venture teams are built already, and we haven't even gone to do our due diligence on site. So that means they all get the chance to come out with me and visit with me, do the market study, do the on-site due diligence, meet the property manager, meet the contractors, hear for themselves about what is good and what is bad about the property, and what's the strategy on the property, right? So that's what you can. That's what we're doing, right? In our joint venture, right? So, and a syndication, it's a little bit different, right? Syndications are generally they cost a lot more money, right? So you're gonna, I don't know, it's anywhere from $10,000 to $15,000 to set up a syndication, all right? And you set up these syndications, and they're generally bigger properties because you have to pay up, you have more outlay of capital. So you're going to syndicate a larger property, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, right? And then you're going to have a general partnership, and that general partnership is really the ones that are taking the active role, right? You have a general partnership with the active role, and then you have a limited partnerships, or LPs as they call them, are in the passive role, right? And they are bringing in the capital to run the deal. So the general partnership is finding the deal, putting it under contract. They're going to run the deal afterwards. The limited partners are bringing the capital to the deal. In general, depending on the size of the property and the size of your syndication, you might have 50 limited partners or anything. You could have a team of 100 people, right? In those syndications, I would say one of the big differences are that sometimes, you don't always get a chance to do everything from the very, very beginning, right? So that's something that is difficult. It's difficult because by the time the syndication is set up, some of the due diligence has already been done, and so it's difficult in those situations. So I would say that JVs have a lot more flexibility, because you can structure it any kind of way. Well, I wouldn't say that. Syndications you can structure any way you want to as well, but people are generally familiar with a certain type of things, whether it's preferred returns or a certain type of split. So they're generally familiar with that, and if you get outside that box too far, you're going to have a hard time sort of raising all that capital that you might need. So, okay, hopefully that answered your questions. And if you guys have any other questions about joint ventures or syndications, feel free to ask. I did see Steve Carroll ask, how many partners maximum do you have in a JV? I've asked a few lawyers that, just kind of like, hey, what is a maximum, that you can have on a JV, right? And they're like, there really is no maximum. And I've heard another one say, maximum is like 100. And I was like, oh, that's a lot. But they're like, understand that everybody has to have an active role in this, right? So everybody has to have either the access and the active role. It's hard to have 100 people be active or an unlimited number of people be active. I don't know if there's actually there's no classification of like a JV has to be a certain number, as far as I know, right? You should ask a lawyer yourself, but there's no, as far as I know, I've been counseled that there's no specific number. It's not like 10, it's like 20 or 50 or 100 or whatever it is. There's no exact number, okay? So, Kavitha, thanks for joining. William Edwards, thanks for joining as well. Goose, I think I saw you on here, buddy. Good to see you here. Let's see, Brian Pham, thanks for joining. Hey, and let's see, Steve Carey, you said if you've done a couple JVs and you're looking for some bigger projects, we'll be doing syndication because of the size. Yeah, a lot of times it's because of the size, right? So, if you're doing a larger deal, you need to bring in more money, you're probably going to need to syndicate it, right? Which means you also need to pay for the syndication. It's a different process. Generally, my network is full of people that are a little bit more inclined to do joint ventures. They're very active people who want to have an active role. They want to learn more. They want to be involved from the very, very beginning. And that's the kind of things that I offer people in the joint ventures that I create. So, I don't know. Some of you, if you are interested in, some of you may be interested in what I'm doing or being on my list. If you are interested in something like that, just private message me. I'll send you what is my joint venture questionnaire. That's usually who I send out my list to first, to say like, hey, if you're interested in joining me on my next deal, this is where you go. This is who I reach out to first. Just to say, like, these 3 deals, I didn't really reach out to anybody else like on Facebook or anything. I just only reached out to that list, and it filled before I even reached out to anybody else. So that said, let me see, any last questions? Feel free to ask any questions. I'll keep it kind of short today. I don't know if this is short, but this is, 10, 15 minutes. But we will be giving some more updates. So be looking out for us to give more updates, maybe on site, because there's going to be, you're going to see a bunch of people, doing Facebook Lives or doing videos or taking pictures. These are all the people that, on my team, and I told them, definitely take pictures and do your thing social media wise. So you'll see a lot of that. Excited to be out there. Going to take the whole week out from Sunday to Friday, and do our due diligence and see what we think about the properties, and get a good chance to, again, meet all the brokers and try to expand our network that way as well. So if you guys ever do get a chance to do the due diligence with say the general partners or whoever, the joint venture team that is going to do their due diligence, I would highly recommend that. It's one of the best ways for you to learn on site and hear what's going on about the property, and that's one of the best things that you can do is to get out on site with the team that's doing the due diligence at that time, because they really do it, once, and it's very early on in the project. So if you do get a chance to do that, take advantage of it. Okay, I know it's one of those things. I told my team, you're not going to get much time. Like, I'm not going to be able to tell you a month ahead of time that we're going to go out there. It's like you get the deal under contract, you send your earnest money, they send the due diligence documents, and it's like, boom, one more week, and then it's like, it's starting to set the week, and then we've got to fly out there in that week. So you don't have a lot of time. Tickets cost a lot of money. There's late tickets, on flights, and late tickets for your hotels. But if you can make it, it's one of the best learning experiences. And I'm super happy about my team going out there because they get a chance to visit 3 different properties this whole week, right? And see all the differences in those 3 properties. So that all said, appreciate you guys all joining. Be on the lookout for us to update you guys some more in this upcoming week. But if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out. And again, if you do want to be on my list of people, feel free to reach out to me. Just direct message me and I'll send you my questionnaire. We'll go from there. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining. Talk to you later.